Yesterday, the world lost an innovator, someone who was just amazing at what he did, Steve Jobs. And it made me sad, you know, but then I really started to think about it. I started to think about all the things that he created that influenced me every single day and actually changed my life. So this is my Apple story. It goes all the way back to 1984. I had to call my dad about this to kind of fill in some blanks, and he scanned this picture of me. And there I am sitting on a desk with my dad, and there's the Apple computer in the background. It was the Mac Classic, and I just remember we've always been a Mac family, and there's visual proof. So when I was talking to my dad, he told me this story about, you know, he used to be a Linux guy, which is another operating system, and he went into a store and played with a Macintosh for the first time, and he created something in Paint, and he said at that point he just fell in love with that product. From then we were a Mac family, hook, line, and sinker. We were a Mac family. Had the Mac SE, had the Mac Performa 550. We had the what was that one Mac that looked? It was a Mac that looked like a salad bowl. It was I think actually I still have it. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. It was just crazy. Like, look how dusty it is. I'm sorry I haven't used you, but they had those commercials where the guy. Anyway, you're not gonna remember those commercials. You know, then had the PowerBook laptop, the G4, and then we had the G5 computer, and you know, it was just, we never had a PC. Well, we did have a PC. Well, they didn't have a PC. My dad always stayed true to Mac, but I cheated on Mac with PC in college and regretted it. So sorry about that, but I came back. That Performa 550, I sent my first email on. I was 10 years old when I sent my first email. And I was just amazed. How could this happen? How does my information get there? And I remember going back to the computer every day waiting to see if the person had responded, and they hadn't. It was like a family friend, like one of my mother's and father's friends, and I'm sure they ended up having to call him and be like, could you please email my kid back so that he will stop obsessing over the computer? But you know, I ended up staying obsessed with the computer for the rest of my life thus far. So, but I was excited that he did respond, and that was a good memory. I always wanted to get a laptop, and my first laptop ended up being a MacBook. I actually still have the MacBook, still use it because it still works. It's gone through a couple of hard drives, but that's not the Mac's fault. I overused that thing. I just quit my job, and I was sitting around. I'm like, well, what am I gonna do with myself? Well, you know, now that I don't have a job. And I stumbled upon iMovie, and I was like, what's this? And my roommate was like, oh, you can like edit together things. I was like, you know how to edit things? Teach me. So he didn't end up teaching me, but I sat down with the program and I learned it, and I was just like, this is amazing. And then YouTube came along, and I was like, well, this is a creative outlet, you know. So I used my iMovie, and I, you know, put my videos up on YouTube, and that's what started it all. If I hadn't bought my MacBook, I would have never got involved with YouTube. I would have never known the beauty of just full creative expression. All I needed was the right tool, and my Mac was the right tool for me. And in my family, music is huge. So we had all of the iPods. We had the Shuffle, we had the Click Wheel, we had Nano, Mini, all those things, because just the ability to carry around all the music that you love, I mean, that was heaven for my family. I was going through a really tough time, you know, having to do with my YouTube, like, which direction do I want to go? I'm not sure. Should I do this? Should I do that? My mom's like, I want you to watch this. And she sent me Steve Jobs' commencement speech to the Stanford graduates. And there was one line that stuck out to me the most. Believing that the dots will connect further down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even if it leads you off the well-worn path. Just remember, no matter what, ultimately follow your heart. I mean, what better advice is there? So thank you, Steve Jobs, for following your heart and helping provide me with the tools that give me the ability to do something like this. And thank you so much. So that's my Apple story. I'd love to hear yours.